Isn't life too short and time too precious to waste on people and things that are not worth it? Many men waste years trying to make a relationship work because they don't know the signs of when it's time to stop. From extreme criticism to lack of trust, there are many sure signs that a woman is not worth your time, and you'll find all of them in this video. The moment has arrived. Keep watching till the end so you can know for sure that it's time to let go. Number 10. Everything is about her. One of the telltale signs that a woman is not worth your time is apparently obvious. Imagine this scenario. So you just snagged that long-awaited promotion, and you're over the moon. Now naturally, you'd like to share it with your woman, and you'd expect a victory dance, or even some words of encouragement and support. But hold up. Before you can even bask in your glory, she changes the subject by inserting her personal drama into the conversation. You're on cloud 9 about your achievements, but she's steering the conversation towards herself. Sounds hurtful, right? Well, it's a big red flag. According to experts, this is a glaring sign of selfishness. When your partner consistently hijacks your moments of glory to chat about literally anything else in the world, it's a sure sign that you need to reevaluate things. In fact, it's a sign that you need to jump ship. We all deserve someone who can put themselves aside and care for us once in a while. And if she's genuinely interested in you and your achievements, she'll be more excited than you to celebrate them and know more about them. Number 9. She can't stop talking about her ex. Granted, everyone has a past, and hearing about one ex is something you can handle. But there's a fine line between talking about your ex and obsessing over them. When it feels like you're being entertained by an entire book that's entirely dedicated to her past relationships, it's time to give her the hard pass. Even experts agree that this overload of X-Files is an indication of troubled territory. Usually, it shows that she's not over him, and you might be the rebound boyfriend. And trust us, you don't want that. You're just a temporary distraction rather than a genuine love interest. Sure, getting a little backstory on her last relationship to see is fine. It's an important way to gauge whether she's had enough time to heal. But if at any point you feel like that all you talk about is her exes, it's time to hit the brakes. You deserve someone who's invested in you more than they are in their exes. Number 8. You're the only one who puts in effort. Here's the wisdom that most gentlemen are fed. Taking the initiative is a major point scorer with the ladies. This wisdom is partly correct, but here's the tea. When a woman is really into you, she won't leave you hanging forever. In fact, she'd be eager to put in effort and initiate contact with you. In every relationship or potential relationship, there needs to be a balance of communication initiation by both parties. If there's no mutual interest, then it'll always be you who'd make the effort. And when that's the case, you need to let the connection go. No amount of time and effort can make someone fall in love with you if they don't want to be in love with you in the first place. It's cool to shoot your shot and make the first move, but it's also important to remember that if she's interested, she'll meet you halfway. Number 7. She's never apologetic. Taking responsibility for your actions is the adult thing to do, but if you're stuck with someone who never utters the word sorry, it's time for a rethink. If you're the one who is constantly saying sorry, even when you know you're not in the wrong, and she's never even whispered the word, that's a little off. According to experts, this is a red flag that goes unnoticed. Since relationships are all about mutual responsibility, and apologizing or taking responsibility for your actions shows maturity, this kind of behavior just doesn't fly. So if she's incapable of admitting her mistakes, and she thinks she's always right, then it's a surefire sign that you're wasting your time on someone who's not ready for a partnership. You'd want to end with someone mature, right? Because at the end of the day, maturity is key when it comes to making relationships work. It's high time for you to save your breath and let this connection go. Number 6. You walk on eggshells around her. Have you ever found yourself feeling more insecure around her than ever? If the answer is yes, then we have some bad news for you. The thing is, when your relationship grows, you should feel in sync with your partner. And if you're constantly feeling like you're on shaky ground, that's not an optimistic sign. You find yourself thinking twice before saying or doing anything around her, because she's constantly nitpicking and pointing out problems with your behavior. This kind of scrutiny will make you insecure about yourself in the long run. If this is the case, you should talk to her, and if there's no change or apology, it's time to move on. Healthy relationships are built on support and encouragement, and not tearing each other down. Number 5. You are not your best self around her. Have you ever felt like your partner is standing in the way of your growth? Do you feel this way about her? Any answer to this question except for a confident yes is a red flag. A relationship thrives when both of the partners are equally supportive of each other's growth. When this stops being the case, it means that there's a problem. If you're stuck in a cycle of constant bickering and feeling drained and defensive all the time, you've entered the territory where you're wasting your precious time with her. Life is too short to spend it feeling like you're just not good enough for someone. So if she's not lifting you up, then it's time to find someone who will. Number 4. You both have different values. It's about this instance that we drop the whole opposites attract act, because that's really not how real-life relationships work. The truth is that not all differences are created equal. Sure, you might be able to overlook her undying love for the Red Sox. However, when it comes to ideologies and core values, differing opinions are a red flag. In reality, when you're on opposite ends of the spectrum on issues that really matter, like faith and finances, the road ahead is impossible to navigate. These are differences where one of you would have to make a greater-than-life compromise, and that's not a fair commitment. So before you start investing your time into someone else, make sure she has a similar direction to you. Number 3. She's hot and cold. You must have heard these words quite a lot, but what do they really mean? Well, let's break it down. When you feel like your relationship is a roller coaster of emotions, it usually is a bad sign. For instance, you can never predict what your partner will be feeling next minute. It's exhausting. You can never keep up with her mood swings, and your feelings never come into consideration. It's all right if things are a bit bumpy now and then, but this doesn't mean that she has a free pass to act like your feelings don't matter. Sometimes, she'll do this to test you, but if it becomes a constant thing, it's time to hit the brakes. You've to reassess this situation, or you'll get stuck into a spiral of toxicity. Nobody wants to be stuck in a place where their emotions are not validated. Quite frankly, you shouldn't waste any more of your time trying to fix the situation. Number 2. You can't trust her to have your back. In any healthy relationship, your partner should be your biggest and loudest cheerleader. They're not your personal critic, and if she's constantly acting like one, you know what to do. And it's not even about being the personal critic. It's a matter of principle. Shouldn't your partner be the one to have your back? We mean it's a non-negotiable, because if that's not the case, who else can you expect to do so? And if she comes at you with "you're too sensitive" remarks, well, that's your definite sign to jump ship. Take it as a wake-up call and move on before you waste any more of your time. All of this behavior leads to the fact that she just doesn't respect you, and respect is the foundation of any successful partnership or relationship, so don't settle for anything less. Number 1. She doesn't trust you. Well, okay, a little bit of jealousy is a healthy sign in a relationship. It's also understandable because we're all human. But what's not all right is using an unreasonable amount of jealousy to pick up fights. It's not cute, nor is it a sign of love. Experts agree that unless there's a legitimate reason for her to be worried, snooping around through your phone and text is a red flag. That's also an invasion of personal space. Plus, if you're doing your best, and it's still not enough to calm her insecurities, then there's a high chance that you're not the problem, and it's not your job to fix her issues. If you still think, oh, maybe it'll get better with time, trust us, it won't. It'll only get worse. And before you get caught in this black hole of distrust, you might want to establish some boundaries. But if it still doesn't work, you know what to do. No amount of assurance will keep this relationship together, and with this sort of distrust, it's not worth investing more of your time into it. Did you find this video helpful? Drop a comment below and subscribe for more. See you next time.